I don't know if you can hear the plane. I'm gonna take a sip. Oh God, that's sexy. Oh, that was a sexy sound. Hi y'all, this is Jace, she, they, and you have found Jace Reads Romance, a community dedicated to empowering women about sex and sexuality through the reading of romance novels. And sometimes I buy romance novels. This is another edition of What I Got, or book hauls, depending on what you like to call it. This is a combined episode for June and July. I was gone for 5.5 weeks between those 2 months, and I had books coming in, pre-orders arriving, things happened. So instead of making all the books that I got at the end of my trip at the end of July count just towards July, I'm putting it all together. That being said, you might notice this is a really long video, and that's because it is a double month. So there are 77 books that I'm going to talk about or share with you for this month. For my stats, like I said, 77 books, 36 of them were by authors of color. My notes are up there, which means 46.75% of them were written by authors of color, which is great. That is hits my goal of 40% of my books being purchased by authors of color, but only 15 of them are queer stories. And I say only 15, but I'm not 100% sure, because oftentimes stories with straight presenting couples, even if they have a queer main character, a queer love interest, aren't showing up on my radar, or I'm not as aware of it. So I might have a book or two in here that is a straight presenting couple that ends up being queer. And I love that we're getting more representation of that, like Truly Madly Deeply, Two Wrongs Make a Right, and The Undercutting of Rosie. What is it? The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam? Well, you'll see that one. And these are male-female couples where one person in the couple or more is queer. I have a feeling that might happen, but I don't know yet because I haven't read all of these. I like to divide these book hauls into 4 different categories. There are my trophies, authors or series I'm continuing, new to me authors, special editions, and then I technically have a few for events and some other random ones, but those 4 main categories are the ones that seem to stay. The first group I'm going to share with you are trophies. These are books that I've already read, and I don't go into detail about them because you can find my reviews typically on social media, Goodreads, or on YouTube, though I am really behind on posting my YouTube reviews. Sorry, y'all. The first book is Emperor and the Endless Palace by Justinian Wong. I waited until this came out in paperback because I didn't want a hardcover, but this is a really beautiful story told in 3 timelines about love between men in China, and it's got a really interesting supernatural component. I thought it was a beautifully written book. This is Crash Test by Amy James. I read this as an arc. I loved this book so much. I thought the way that she formatted it, the structure of the book was incredible. The relationship between the two of them was heartbreaking, but really honest and dynamic. The minute I finished this, it wasn't really on my radar. I applied for the ARC because it was a queer story, and I'm always looking for new queer authors and queer stories to read. But the minute I finished this book, I reached out to my local bookstore and I said, I need this. I need a physical copy of this in my hands. This, you might not know, is Say You'll Be Mine, John, and this is the UK version of Say You'll Be Mine by Naima Kumar. So I have this book already. I have the US edition, Say You'll Be Mine. It's pretty as pink. I read it. I saw this when I went to Saucy Books in London, and at first I didn't understand it. I thought Naina Kumar had come out with a book and I'd missed it, but it turns out they just changed the title for the UK version, and I thought it would be cool to have it. The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam. This is the 3rd book in the trilogy. I forget the name of the trilogy. I think it's Tanria, the Tanria trilogy. I have really enjoyed this. This feels exactly like cozy fantasy for me, and each book was so different. The main characters were so different. The dynamics were very different. I love the world building. I love the mythology. I've just really enjoyed this world, and I'm very sad to be leaving it alone. This is the thickest of the books, but it feels like a really well-earned ending. And I'm so glad I got to read an arc of it, but I knew I was going to get it anyway because I have the other 2 books in this series. This is Flirty Dancing. I'm counting it as a trophy because I read an arc of it. I wasn't going to get this book. Not because it's bad, but because it's faded to black and it felt really juvenile. It felt YA even though these are adults, and that was a little bit frustrating, and just, I'm probably never going to reread this, no offense. But it came in my steamy lit, my Steam box, my Steam book box. And so I now have it. It's not a bad book if you don't like spice. If you like that YA feeling, fine. Well, it was not my cup of tea in some ways. I'm going to switch to my 2 micro categories. And the micro category first is repeats. So No Ordinary Love by Maya Ariel. This is a book, the regular version, that I already have. This came in my steamy lit Steam box. And so now I have 2 copies. Am I mad about it? No. But I do wish that I should check this steamy lit box sooner. And the problem is, like, the reason I got the box is because I have the same taste and I love diverse authors and queer authors and all of that and what it stands for. The problem is I have found that I often have the books that are going to be in the box. And so I'm getting all of these doubles. Second is All Superheroes Need PR by Elizabeth Stevens. It is the exact same edition, but at my local romance bookstore, there is some not safe for work art that came with this edition there. So I bought a second copy so I could have the artwork and the newsletter and the extras that came with it. And I do not regret that decision at all. I don't regret it because the art is so good, friends. The art is so good, and I cannot show you because it is not safe for work. So those are my doubles. The next category are book events. And there are a few that I got through book events. Some of them I wasn't able to attend in person because I was out of town. I just wanted to support things. And some of those books I haven't collected quite yet. So it's confusing. But the actual events that I attended, one was for Ali Hazelwood's release of the special edition of Not the Love Hypothesis. I don't love hardcovers. I don't plan on getting the whole series in hardcover edition, but I love seeing her. She's super fun. She's super sweet. And now I have it and it's signed. So I guess I'm keeping it. This was me being bold, and I said I had to keep this one because I got the ticket. So I even had Ali personalize this. I don't personalize books, but I guess I'm keeping the special edition. The other event that I was able to attend was for Ali Brady's Battle of the Bookstore. They're so sweet. The Ali part of the Ali Brady. She lives in the Chicago area, and so they're coming back actually for a second part of their tour. I'm not gonna go again because I don't need a double, but they were really lovely, and it was so nice to talk to them and meet them, and I had a blast with that event. These were 2 events for authors that I have read, but I wasn't able to go. I was able to pick up these books though. This is Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. I read this book, I think could have been 2023, when it was still indie. She's been picked up by Entangled. It's released as trad. She's doing a book tour for it. I wanted to support The Last Chapter, who's hosting the book event, and the book was pretty, so why not? The last one is The Jackass in Class by Amy Award. I have read 2 of this series, and I like that Amy Award really focuses on plus size and body positivity and all of that good stuff. I haven't loved the books themselves, but I wanted to meet her and support her, and this is one that I haven't read. I do like the brothers though, so I should probably catch up to the series so I can read this book. And those are all the books that I currently have from book events from June and July. Before I get into the fun categories of series and continuing or new to me authors and special editions, I want to talk about these 4 books that I will not be sharing with you. It is because I understand that the discourse around these books is very painful to the queer and trans community. These are some of the fanfics that have been released via trad. I even have a special edition from a book box that I get. And I want to share why I got them first, and then also apologize because my intentions are good, but I think I didn't realize how it would feel to the queer and trans community once the books were publicized the way that they were. I don't engage with the IP anymore. I have the books, I have the audiobooks, I own them. I have very fond memories of my experience of them when I was young. I'm 37. I grew up with those books. And for me, this was a way to both, not that I've never read fan fiction. I don't read fan fiction, but so for me, I don't know if it was even about the IP itself, because the stories that they're telling have nothing to do with the actual stories that happen. But, and I don't really think of that type of pairing as specific to that IP, because friends, that is not the first time that kind of story has been told. It will not be the last time that type of story has been told, those tropes, that kind of relationships, those dynamics. So I don't necessarily associate it with that exclusively. And so to me, it doesn't feel painful. It feels like being inspired by something to create something that exists outside of that space too. But I want to recognize and honor the hurt that the way that maybe just their existence, but certainly the way that these books were promoted has done. And therefore I will not be talking about them or showing you their covers. But I do own them. I bought them for my reasons, and which I just shared. And to me, those reasons were valid. And I will own them. I will own that I have spent my money on these books. Back to the fun shit. These are books that are completing a series or continuing a series that I have already started or already purchased. This is the novella, the dual novella by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone that is part of their holiday trilogy, which I do have. I have not read it. I don't know why. I've seen them so many times and talked to them, and I have all of the books, but for some reason I don't always love holiday books, and so I'm less inclined to start it, though I hear they're great. But I wanted to buy this. Again, this is a series or a book that definitely might have queer elements to it because it's Julie and Sierra, but I don't know. This is Pugs and Kisses by Farah Roshan. I read Pardon My Frenchie, which I adored. Such a sweet book, and this is the second book in that series, and so obviously I had to get it. This is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, which is the follow-up to, I need to read the title because I always switch up words. It's the sequel to The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which was such a sweet, cozy found family book. Oh my God, adorable. And I'm so excited that there's a second one. Grin and Beard It by Penny Reed. Oh, shit. This was actually an event book too. Sorry, I went and saw her. She's a hoot. But I also went because it's the second book in the series of the Winston brothers. I really want the Knitting in the City series to come out. I think I mentioned this before because they're weirdly formatted, and I want the Knitting in the City series to be normal paperback formats. But the Winston brothers are all coming out because it's been picked up for a TV show, so keep your eyes out for that. This is Plus Size Player. It is the follow-up to Curvy Girl Summer. I think I'm gonna have to read it because, again, the audiobook just makes me feel too many things, and I need to be able to get through it faster than listening to the audiobook lets me do. But I started the audiobook. It's incredible. But Nina makes me feel so many things. This is Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. I don't know if I'm going to listen to the audiobook of this one because one of the narrators is not for me, which is fine. Valid. So I think I'm also going to read this. I'm wondering if it's going to be as forearm heavy as Lights Out was. I really hope so because that's a fucking hoot. I'm counting this as part of a series. This is Worth Fighting For by Jessie Q. Sutano. She is not the series. The series is the Meant to Be series. These are adult reimaginings of Disney movies in novel form. They are low spice, so I'm less inclined. I started it, and then the whole hidden identity thing really makes me uncomfortable, so I had to take a pause. Next, I've got Lesson in Thorns and Door of Bruises from the Thorn Chapel series. I think this is, yeah, Thorn Chapel. I have had a really hard time finding all of the Thornchapel books, and so book 4 just came out. I had 2 and 3, and I could not find 1 for the longest time, so I finally found 1, Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. I love her. And then the last one is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. I wanted it in paperback. I went to a release, so I have it in hardcover. I'm not going to keep it. I prefer the paperback. They're real thick, but I want this to match my other 2, which I have. The first 2 in the series, the first duology. I got it when it came out in paperback. We're gonna have to do the next category in 2 parts. So this is part 1 of the next category, which are authors who I've read before, but these aren't necessarily part of a series of theirs. This is Nalini Singh, Slave to Sensation. I have read her Guild first novel, which is I think the one that this series I'm gonna go with next year. But everyone talks about her side Changeling, and it's now in normal paperback, and so I wanted to get a copy. She is an OG PNR romance novel writer, and I love that. Also, she's a woman of color. She's from New Zealand. Just amazing. And I've heard just incredible things about this series. I got overruled by Lana Ferguson. I'm really behind. I read The Game Changer and was so let down by it that I haven't even read Under Lock and Key, but I did order Overruled, so I have that. The next is Lauren Kung Jessen. This is Yin Yang Love Story. I have the rest of her series. I haven't started any of them, but I've heard great things about her, and I just wanted to keep going with her as an author. How to Sell a Romance by Alexa Martin. I have read a few Alexa Martin books. I think the first one was Intercepted, and then Better Than Fiction, which was really adorable. And this one just sounded like a hoot. There's like direct sales or social media marketing or MLM or whatever you're going to call it in here. And I find that really intriguing. Love is a War Song by Danica Nava. This is a cowboy romance written by Danica Nava, who is of Native American heritage. And you should go buy this book because people are fucking ridiculous. And it makes me so mad that like a cowboy romance, when cowboy romance is very popular, isn't getting picked up by big retailers. My guess is because she's a woman of color, and it just makes me so mad. So go get this. Courtroom drama. I'm gonna mess up her name. I really apologize. Neeli Tubati Alexander. I saw her at RomanceCon last year. She was incredible. I bought a different book of hers, and I wanted to keep going. I love her covers. Her covers are so vibrant and fun, but I don't believe it's connected at all to her other book. Okay, I can show you this. This is At First Spite by Olivia Dade. This is not the cover. I actually got this cover from Olivia Dade. This is the real cover, At First Bite, but when I met Olivia Dade at Steamy Lit, she gave me an alternative cover to At First Spite. So I put that on my copy. And the funniest part is I had that cover on a different Olivia Dade book just to keep its shape. And so I panicked when I bought At First Spite when I saw it in a store, because according to my Labib, didn't have it, but when I looked at my shelf, it looked like I had it. It was a very funny moment, but something that could only happen to me. Part 2 of authors that are not new to me, but they're not necessarily a series or part of a series. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. Yes, this is a specific retailer's edition. I liked this cover the best, so I bought it. This is Dream On Ramona Riley by Ashley Herring Blake. I'm really loving her, and I should just continue. I should just like give myself a week and read only Ashley Herring Blake. I want to continue with these series. Sometimes I feel like I'm not allowed to continue, or I have to diversify my reading a little bit more. And I don't mean like diversify, these are queer stories, but you know, I should read as many different authors as possible. And that means that if there's an author I really like, I don't always get back to them. And I think I'm done with that. Rainbow Rowell wrote Eleanor and Park, which might be one of my favorite YA books of all time. And this is the return to adult. Literally don't know what it's about. I don't know, but I saw in the adult section. And so I said, yes, if you can make me feel that many things about teenagers, I want to see what you're going to do with me as an adult. This is One in a Million by Beverly Kendall. I have Token by Beverly Kendall. I know those are not the only books that she has ever written, but these are the ones that I found in stores so far, and so wanted to get both of them. This is Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. This is, yes, another retailer specific one. I thought I'd pre-ordered it through an indie bookstore with dirty art, and apparently I didn't, and I'm not gonna lie, I was really upset. I had a gift card and I used it for this. I have read other things by Megan Quinn, but not this book. This is a brand new series of hers, so I got it. I think the edges look really cool. This is The Roommate by Rosie Danon. This is part of a series that I actually bought book 2 of first, and I figured I should go back, because sometimes when, I don't know if y'all have experienced this, if I start reading an author, here's an example. The first Christina Lauren book I read was Love in Other Words. Incredible book. Incredible. I went back and read The Unhoneymooners, which was the first book of theirs, and it felt like a step back. It wasn't a bad book, but when I saw what they could do with Love in Other Words, going back to their first book, it felt less complex and I didn't enjoy it as much because I knew what they were capable of at this point. And so when there's an author who hasn't released a ton of stuff, like Rosie Danon, I think she's got 4 or 5, I like to start at the beginning so that I don't accidentally feel that way, though I really want to read Do Your Worst in Fan Service first. So if you've read all of Rosie Danon, let me know if there's that big jump, or if I can start with Fan Service or Do Your Worst and then jump back to these 2. And the last one has Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson. And this is the next book that she has come out with. It is not part of a series, but I have her other books. So she's such great covers. These stylized covers are just beautiful. The last part of the not new to me authors are the series I'm purchasing in this format so that they match. We listen and we don't judge. Plucked Love by Helena Hunting, because all of the deluxe editions this first run have incredible sprayed edges. Aurora Asher's series, all of them have beautiful sprayed edges. Amy Dawes' 7-Year Itch, because it matches the other one that I have that has, you guessed it, beautiful sprayed edges. Chasing Shelter, I don't know if I bought this because it matches. I don't think so. I don't think any of mine have sprayed edges really, but I pre-ordered this from my local bookstore. It has an extra fancy dust jacket. I don't really understand. Oh, it's really pretty. The inside of the dust jacket is really pretty. Yeah, can you tell that I like literally just picked this up? And I got stickers and a signed book plate and stuff like that. But it does match the other books in this series that I have of hers. And I think these are romantic suspense. So if I ever want to just binge romantic suspense, I know where to go. This is The Offer by T.M. Richardson. I didn't purchase this because of this. This actually came in my Steam box from Steamy Lit. And I'm so glad because I have her first book. The second one has sprayed edges. The first one doesn't, but they're both the Steamy Lit edition of the book. And so they match. So I'm not mad about it. I'm glad that they match. And I don't have to have 2 different kinds. This is The Robin on the Oak Throne by Kay Lind. It is a Red Tower edition with the beautiful sprayed edges and end papers and all of that. I do have the first book, The Wren in the Holly Library. So I figured if I was gonna have one, I might as well have both as a matching set. And then this is Three Shattered Souls by Mike Cortland. I have the first book. This is the first 2 books. There are 2 books. This is book 3, and they're just stunning. All 3 of them are stunning. Maybe I'll do a video on all the matching sets that I have. The next section is new to me authors. And we're gonna have to do this in a couple different piles too. I think it's also gonna be 3 different piles from the new to me section. Now with new to me authors, because you've never heard about them, I typically like to read something from the back of the book so you know why I picked it. Often a new to me author is because they are queer or an author of color, and I want to support them and really diversify my reading and my library and make sure that I don't get sucked into the algorithm as it stands. This is the first grab from that pile. This is the book Whenever You're Ready by Rachel Runya Katz, and she, I believe, is a queer author of color who is also Jewish. I saw a post of hers, because I've heard about her, that she gets a lot of pushback because they're like, oh no, you can't be all of those things. And she says, I'm all of those things. And this is where intersectionality is really important, because you aren't just one thing. You might be lots of different things. So here's the back. Nia and Jade have been inseparable ever since their best friend Michael, or Michal, I'm not sure, introduced them at her 10th birthday party. But now it's been 3 years since Michael died of cancer, since the brutal fight Nia and Jade had in the weeks after, and they're barely on speaking terms. Ooh, skipping. Rachel Runya Katz's Whenever You're Ready is about family, friendship, and the kind of first love that could last a lifetime if only you are willing to take a chance. So heavy, friend. Heavy. This is Writing Mr. Right by Alina Kawaja. I am so sorry if I say people's names wrong. An author of color writing a contemporary rom-com, and on the back, Uzma Jalaluddin, who was one of the co-authors of 3 Holidays and a Wedding, which I really liked, and I just thought it was a cute idea. So, legal secretary by day, aspiring novelist by night, Zia Khan pours herself into writing stories featuring the kinds of diverse characters she loves. In exchange, she's got a growing pile of rejection letters. When yet another thanks but no thanks arrives on the eve of her 30th birthday, Zia decides to throw her novel and her dreams in the trash. Oh my gosh, end of story. I'm sorry, I read ahead. Except that when Zia wakes up, there's a flesh and blood version of her muse standing in the kitchen. His name is Ashik, Aashiq, and it's his job to inspire Zia to write again. Oh yeah. And it might be like almost 2 months since I picked up these books, so I'm getting re-excited to read these. This is Ava Reed's Fable for the End of the World. Ava was an author on the Trans Rights Readathon list. Bad Women Books was actually selling this beautiful edition through their website. They sell some just regular publisher editions, and so I got it in an order. She writes queer stories. She writes interesting mythology, and so I'm excited to see what I get with this book. There's almost nothing on the inside flaps of this. It says, "The Lamb's Gauntlet is a live-streamed assassination spectacle, and the next lamb has been chosen." And that's it. That's it. That's all I know about this book from this. This is The Romance Rivalry by Susan Lee. Susan Lee I know about, and this is YA. I was going to wait and not buy a Susan Lee book until her first adult novel, which comes out in the fall. There's like endless sirens and planes today. I don't understand. It's like the world is ending. So I was going to wait to read my first book of hers as her adult novel, which comes out soon, because YA doesn't always appeal to me. However, she's an established author. This is not her first book, and her publisher gave her $0 marketing dollars. She funded her tour by herself. She arranged her pre-order campaigns by herself. She did so much work and got so little credit from her publisher that I got this book as a fuck you to the publisher. You did nothing. And this author deserves more recognition and more support from you. If you are a YA reader, here is some of the book. Irene Park loves romance novels so much she's made a career of them as an online book reviewer with a massive following. But Irene's real-life dating story, non-existent. So when she starts her freshman year of college, yeah, YA, I know, I almost thought it was adult too. She sets her sights on finding true love using the one thing she really understands, romance book tropes. So I guess it's new adult, but it's YA. It's spiceless. I have no idea when I'm going to read it. Salty, Spiced, and a Little Bit Nice by Cynthia Timoti. This author is from Indonesia, so an author of color. Here's the back. Ellie Peng has had enough of her controlling family who has been micromanaging her life since her type 1 diabetes diagnosis. So it also has invisible disease. When her parents orchestrate a public proposal from their business partner's son, a proposal that goes humiliatingly viral, Ellie escapes to the other side of the country to put her dream of opening a sugar-free bakery into action. After all, she'd done her research. How hard could it be? Oh, and then there's a pretend girlfriend thing. Oh, friends. Yeah. This is Snapshot by Ruby Rana. I found this at the last chapter. I have never heard of her, but look at this cover, and it's sports, and I love when I love the more and more sports are being written by people of color. I'm just going to read the first, paragraph of each section because it's split into, Landon and Indy. So much for being the golden boy. The once fawning press called me the rising star of the NHL. Hockey! Now they get their rocks off on the viral snapshot of my buck-naked backside mashed up against my penthouse window tangled with an attention hugger woman's leg. Fuck boy. Indeed. Nope, there's no way I still have that pubescent crush on Landon Roddick. So what if he's outrageously good looking? I won't fall for his charm or dimpled smile. This time, I'm his lawyer. Oh yeah, you know the banter's gonna be good. This is Chensia Higgins. Devon and Chris plan a wedding. I believe this is also queer. This is the top. Devon and Chris have 6 weeks to plan their dream wedding. Their whole relationship is fake. Instant idea could be Chris Zavala's big break. She's right on the cusp of really making it as an influencer, so a stint on reality TV is the perfect chance to elevate her brand, and $100,000 wouldn't hurt either. Oh man, this is a queer story about them fake dating to win a competition about a wedding. Yes. See, I pick really good books. Part 2 of new to me authors. Maya's Law of Love. Oh wait, no, I have another book of hers. Wait, oh I did, I bought 2 of her books. I guess they're new to me. This is what happens when I don't add things to my Labib right away. Okay, so I have both of these of hers. A bride-to-be convinced she's cursed in romance finds her luck changing at exactly the wrong time. Maya Mirza is so convinced she's unlucky in love that she's come up with a list of laws to explain it. Law 1, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. That's really fun. Okay, so I've got 2 books of hers, but I've never read her before, so still counts. This is The Last Raven by Helen Glynn Jones, and it's vampires. That's why I got it, vampires. As sole heir to the House of Raven, there's nothing Amelia can't have. The only problem is she isn't one of them and she never will be. But when the mysterious Kyle enters her closed-off existence, she sees a way out. As rebellion and dark forces swirl around her, Amelia has a choice to make. Leave everyone she loves behind or stay and accept her destiny. And it literally on the back has spicy books on it. So I hope it delivers. I've never seen that before, so I'm really intrigued. I don't know the publisher One Last Chapter. If you know it, let me know. This is Off Track by Asha Patel. I am in my F1 era. I really need to read more F1 stories, but this battle for the World Championship might just become the battle for their hearts. Diana Zaorani is Formula One's first female racing driver this century. All the other drivers are told to race carefully around her and leave her to her real job, being a pretty face and good advertising for a hyper-masculine sport. But Diane does not work this hard her whole life just to be a mascot. Perfect slow burn rivals to lover romance. Okay, slow burn worries me. This is Single Player by Tara Tai. This book came out in February, and I think I just never saw it on the shelves. So when I did see it, I got it. We've got a non-binary main character and a female main character, so it is queer, there's trans representation, there's gaming. 2 video game creators go head-to-head in this delightful queer enemies to lovers workplace romance debut. Kat Lee cares about 2 things, video games and swoony romances. The former means there hasn't been much of the latter in her real life, but when she lands her dream job writing the love storylines for Compass Hollow, the next big thing in games, she knows it's all been worth it. Then she meets her boss, the infinite Andy Zhang, who's not only an arrogant hater of happily ever afters, determined to keep Kat from doing her job, but also impossibly annoyingly hot. This is The Most Wonderful Time by Jane Allen. It's a holiday love story, so again, who the fuck knows? With Christmas around the corner, Ramona Tucker is desperate to get away. She has been lying to her family about her engagement. But breakups are fickle, and Ramona is convinced that she can make her pretend wedding real again, but only if she can prevent everyone from discovering her secret at her mother's over-the-top Christmas Eve party. 2,000 miles away in sunny Malibu, Chelsea Flint needs money to hold on to that beloved beachside cottage she shared with her late parents. Oh, they swap homes! Oh shit, friends! It's like The Holiday. It's both, I think, The Holiday the movie, and what is it? By Rowan Parrish. I feel like I keep fucking buying this book because I keep losing my copy. The Holiday Trap. I'm in. This is Winging It With You by Chip Pons. I just heard a lot of really good things when this book came out. And so I thought, sure, catching flights and feelings. Asher Bennett thought his relationship was just fine until he's unceremoniously dumped at the Boston airport ahead of the epic trek, the worldwide travel competition reality show. Armed with only a ticket and righteous indignation, Asher finds solace at an airport TGI Fridays. Luckily, right in front of him is a smooth-talking airline pilot ready for takeoff. Oh, they're about to fake date. Oh, I fucking love a fake dating. And I think this is his debut. Ooh, it's misprinted. Or it's misbound. Interesting. I don't mind that. I'm not mad. But now I feel like I need to double check that the book is printed correctly. Okay, we're good. Book is printed correctly. Whew. This is Now Comes the Mist by Julie C. Dow. And the cover caught me. It's an indie book, or podium. I'm not 100% sure, but the cover just arrested me. And then I read the back. Lucy Westenra is beautiful, rich, loved by 3 men, every inch a lady. But beneath this sparkling, flirtatious facade, she is fascinated by death, which has stalked her throughout her short life. For her, the dead do not slip away easily, as they do for her best friend, Mina. They linger. Oh, and there's a Vlad and a vampire. Yeah, a Vlad and a vampire. I love a vampire. Last chunk of new to me authors. Last one. Love in Focus by Lila Lee. This is a new to me author. Queer story. Everyone deserves a do-over. Gemma Choi is pretty sure that true love doesn't exist, at least not for her. Ironically, she's a romance columnist, one who's been freshly dumped by her fiancé and every other man or woman she's ever loved. And if she can't have true love, then maybe it's time to just throw herself into her work, which is exactly when a new career-defining project throws Gemma straight into the path of Celeste Min, the unforgettably hot, irritatingly sexy, and outrageously talented photographer who broke her heart 8 years ago. Drama, friend. And that's an example of a queer-presenting couple where you might assume gay, but clearly Gemma dates men and women. So she might be bi, she might be pan, we don't know. The Do's and Donuts of Love by Adiba Jaigirdar. I apologize. This I found at Saucy Books in London. I've never heard of this author. I wonder if they are mainly in the UK, but it's donuts. The ex she still has feelings for, an exciting new crush, and the competition of a lifetime. Could this be a recipe for disaster? Shireen Malik is still reeling from a breakup when she hears that she'll be a contestant on a TV baking competition. As well as the prize money, she hopes the buzz will bring some attention to her parents' beloved donut shop. Ooh, there's a bit of a love triangle. Don't know how I feel about a love triangle unless they become a throuple, so we'll see. The I in Indian, which is by Bhava Bhuta Rosel. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. But when I was at Friends to Lovers in Virginia, this is a local author to them, and she'd just done an event. And so when I was chatting with one of the people who work at the store, they'd read this book and said it was amazing. And local indie author of color. So yes. A marketing director with a flair for interior design and a deep love for Bollywood, she's built a life that looks picture perfect from the outside. But being a 30-something second-generation Indian American means juggling 2 worlds that don't always fit together, one rooted in tradition and expectations, the other in self-discovery and freedom. The Ex-Girlfriend Murder Club by Gloria Chow. I'm not gonna lie, it was the title that got me. In this laugh-out-loud murder mystery, 3 women dating the same man band together to get revenge, but when they discover his body, they'll need to solve his murder before they go down for it. So I really enjoyed The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, except for the fade to blackness of it. I really did. It was such a good book. And so murder mystery just had me intrigued. It's like John Tucker Must Die plus a murder mystery. The body in the closet was going to be a problem. Catherine Hune knew it. Yes, Tucker Jones was a cheating scumbag, and yes, she'd agreed to meet Olivia and Elle, Tucker's other girlfriends, to exact revenge for all he put them through, but then they found him dead. A Rare Find by Joanna Lowell. I picked this up because Parnassus didn't have the first book in her other series, and according to the Goodreads and this isn't part of a series, so I thought I could start with a book. She writes queer, sapphic mainly, Regency, and yes. So when an aspiring archaeologist teams up with her childhood enemy for a treasure hunt, they find it impossible to bury their growing feelings. Elfrida, it's a weird Victorian name. Elfrida Marsden has finally made a major discovery, an ancient amulet proving the Viking army camped on her family's estate. Too bad her nemesis is back from London, freshly exiled after a scandal and ready to wreak havoc on her life. Georgie Redmayne is everything Elfrida isn't. Charming, popular, carefree, distractingly attractive, and bored to death by the countryside. When the two collide, literally, the amulet is lost, and with it, Elfrida's big chance to lead a proper excavation. Now Elfrida needs new evidence of medieval activity, and Georgie needs money to escape the doldrums of Derbyshire. Joining forces to locate a hidden hoard of Viking gold is the best chance for them both. Are they going to end up in the city or the country? I don't know. There's the joke that we all know where our lore comes from. This is Barely Even Friends by Mae Bennett. Can you guess what movie this is inspired by? Yep. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. A grumpy rich recluse meets his match in this steamy Beauty and the Beast retelling with a succession twist. Fans of fairy tale adaptations will adore Mae Bennett's debut romance. That's all. That's all I'm telling you, because it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. What else matters? This is Only Lovers in the Building by Nadine Gonzalez. At Parnassus, this was listed as a local author. And I always like local authors, especially indie bookstores. Indie bookstores can do a really good job of promoting local authors, and I always want to support that and encourage them, because keep doing it. Keep supporting indie authors in indie bookstores. Please. Wanted. No, needed. A summer escape with beach reads, cocktails, and a little romance on the side. After her legal career comes to a sudden and humiliating end, Lillian Lyon Books a restorative summer rental at The Icon, a quintessential Art Deco building in Miami Beach where her only plan is to bask in the sun, read, and sip cocktails. But soon she's enchanted by the colorful community, including university professor Benedicto Romero, resident tortured poet whose sole intention for sabbatical is to indulge in brooding introspection. And she is a woman of color, Nadine Gonzalez. This is not her first book, but this is the book of hers that I found. The Game is Afoot by Elise Bryant. My friend Jess read this book and she adored it. So when I saw it at Mahogany Books in National Harbor, I said, that's the one that I'm going to get. A clever and hilarious new mystery about a mother who thinks she has to do it all, even solve a murder, from the author of It's Elementary. And I think It's Elementary is YA, so this might be the first adult. After rage quitting her job, Mavis Miller finally has time to get all the rest she's been putting off. Or she should have the time, hypothetically. Except she's taken on a new role. Supermom. Her hours are filled with chauffeuring her daughter Pearl around her extracurricular activities, somehow ending up as class mom and investigating another mystery? Oh, the coach of the kids' soccer program drops dead. I might start entering my mystery phase. The last book in this category is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. And while this is YA, I believe there's queer, and I just was really intrigued by the book and I've heard good things. So why save the world when you can have tea? On the streets of White Roaring, Arthi Casimir is a criminal mastermind and collector of secrets. Her prestigious tea room transforms into an illegal bloodhouse by night, catering to the vampires, I always love vampires, feared by society. But when her establishment is threatened, Arthi is forced to strike an unlikely deal with an alluring adversary to save it, and she can't do the job alone. Vampires. Final category is special editions. And you might have been wondering about my shirt. It doesn't seem a Very Jace shirt. It isn't a Very Jace shirt, but if you have watched my other hauls last month, I said, or I guess for May, because this is a double episode, because the Probably Smut books that I get come with a t-shirt every month, I joked that I was going to wear a t-shirt. I did. I have 2 Probably Smuts from June and July, but I picked the one that I like better, and that is the shirt that belongs to Shadow Obsession by Evelyn Lee. Dark romantic comedy. It's a very beautiful cover. It comes with stickers that match and the annotation guide that also kind of matches the book. So this is that special edition. It's got its own cover and I love them. And I just thought this shirt was way really fun, and it says Book Obsession on it. Shadowed Obsession. My shadow, my little secret, kept in good taste. The other book and the other t-shirt are for Between the Pines by Amber Palmer. Stickers that match the aesthetic and the tabs that also match. I'm really loving how aesthetic these are as I get to know them. It's funny because I'm just not that aesthetic of a person. Like, I would never put this together. And it took me a while. It took me, I'm not kidding you, 3 book boxes to realize the t-shirts match the books because the first box you get is the Probably Smut Book Club t-shirt, and that doesn't match the book, but everything else does. The next special edition I got is Runix's Enigma, which normally comes out in hardcover, their books, but this is through the Love Story Society, which does a paperback edition of a book every month. And I love a paperback, so that's part of the reason why I got the Love Story Society box. We'll see. It's brand new. It's literally the first year that they've ever had. This was its first box. So we'll see how they go as the boxes continue. This is a Bad Women Books edition of the indie version of Blood of Hercules. I don't know if I'm ever going to get any of these books. I know they're all on KU and they're being released as hardcovers, so no thank you. But because this is in the indie version, the indie print, and it's paperback, I decided to get it from Bad Women Books. I really love the Hellenistic print that they did on the side. It matches really well with the cover, and I think that they just do an incredible job with all of their special editions. This was the second Love Society box that I got, or Love Story Society box. This is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. Yes, I have a different edition, but I got this box from them. So now I have two. I love the cover. The covers are really beautiful with these paperbacks. It's fairly affordable book box because they do these paperbacks. So if you're looking for something that like gives you that like butterflies in your stomach and doesn't cost you like $50 a month, this one's been a pretty good one. Continuing with Bad Women Books, this is the Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I know Deep End came with its own sprayed edges, but Bad Women has been doing matching or at least consistent sprayed edge styles for all of Ali's books. And so I've been getting all of them so they match. So this is my Deep End from Bad Women Books by Ali Hazelwood. The last two are from Cover Snob, and Cover Snob, I have both a book box subscription from them, and you got a book box every other month. This was the book box, and then they do just special editions that you can buy. The book box was No Ordinary Love by My Ariel. I now have 3 copies, but stop it. Stop it. Look at those edges. Look at them. They are stunning. Just stunning. So I don't mind having 2 copies, just like with Deep End when it's a beautiful sprayed edge like this. I don't mind that. It's a little awkward to have 2 of the same exact regular edition book. Oh well. And then the last Cover Snob book is Audra and Bash Are Just Friends by Tia Williams, who I have other Tia Williams books, 7 Days in June and a Love Song for Ricky Wilde, but this is her first YA, and again, special edition. I don't know why YA comes out in hardcover all the time. Like, do you trust a young person with a hardcover book? They're gonna lose this book jacket. They're gonna destroy it. I wish it had been a paperback, but I don't regret it because it's beautiful, and Cover Snob almost exclusively does authors of color. So they are just a really great company if you look for them. One of the saddest things is that I missed the Nikki Payne editions of Pride and Protest and Sex, Lives, and Sensibility, and I really wish that I'd gotten those books. I really wish I had. All right, friends, as far as I'm aware, those are all the books that I purchased and have from the months of June and July. That was a really long haul, so I hope that you kind of listened to this on 1.5 speed because this was a lot. If you have any of these books, if you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments what you think I should start with. I have to now find space on my regular shelves for all of these books, so wish me luck. And until next time, this is Jace holding space for you.